Hello everyone and welcome back to a talk video. I'm just going to make a part 2, an add-on for the trading as a beginner video. In that video, and for those of you that are new, before I actually jump into it, basically the reason for these talk videos is to go over a lot of the things involved with trading that no one really wants to talk about, the realistic aspects of it, to keep things realistic and to keep everyone on a fair playing field because trading is not easy, especially when you're a beginner and when the market humbles you and it humbles you hard. Understanding how the emotions tied to that affect you, how you handle them, and just to go over all of that plus more that I'm going to be going over in future videos with the intention of hopefully keeping at least one person from quitting trading, especially if they believe it's very important for them to succeed and to keep trying, and just to really break down the characteristics of all this and how it influences our lives as well. But basically, in the last video, I was really trying to nail in the point of like having a conversation with yourself if you're trying to take trading seriously, because I had that conversation with myself, and basically it's different for everyone. But after really practicing, or I would say practicing the basics, but also researching a lot of the basics and understanding just what trading really is by itself in the most basic way you can understand it, and then making tons of mistakes over and over again because I was too like hard headed to understand that hey, these mistakes keep happening consistently for a reason, and I'm like, there's got to be a reason why I keep making these, and how can I break out of this? But after like years of making the same mistake and not really making the progress I wanted to, I had that conversation with myself, which is basically like, how badly do you want this? Look in the past, like these years, like it was like up to like 5 years of repeating the same mistake over and over again, of not looking at the bigger picture of charts, not looking at, understanding the direction of a trend, now understanding that support and resistances are there for a reason, and why am I not paying attention to them? And why is it that I not procrastinate, but why is it I just can't like mature my trading in the sense of being able to, just jump into the computer basically every day and understanding like, hey, like all these mistakes that I keep making, let's try to do things differently, and then um try something different and then see how it goes. Instead it was just get on the computer and repeat the same stuff all over again, thinking that I'm going to just make it work. And really, I think all that came from being overly confident when I first began trading. I was overly confident. I felt like I deserved to win. I feel like, oh, it's simple enough. Buy low, sell high. Buy low, sell high. It's super simple. All these YouTubers are doing it, and it looks super simple the way all these people are doing it, and it's pretty straightforward, and it looks cool, and you feel cool trading. Like having the computer set up with the screens, however you want to do things, and it looks cool. Everyone's wearing like a hoodie trading, and they got all like this cool stuff. And look at that, this guy's making like thousands repeating this basic strategy of like, buying when this indicator says this and then selling it when it says this. It's like, yeah, it all seems very, very easy at first, and that's the whole purpose of all this, is just to keep things realistic and talk about the parts of trading that no one really talks about. And I haven't really seen a lot of channels out there. There's very few, very rare when you find channels that really try to just straight up talk with you and tell you how things really are without any biasness of like ego or anything in the way. It's all just marketing for them at the end of the day. But which it's cool. It works for them, and a lot of people like it, and it's cool at the end of the day. But really, just overly confident when I first started trading. I was thinking I was all that, and I was already thinking of like the bigger picture without first nailing down a good trading foundation, and I was already like ahead of the game. In my head, I was ahead of the game, but in reality, I was trash. And I said this in the last talk video, for the part one. It was like something like, um, for those few years of getting started, basically my P&L was flat, and I would like make a good trade, make a bad trade, and it was all just pure like it was just I was too busy just looking at the intraday 1 minute candles, and I would just not look at anything else, and that's terrible. Um, I had a ton of indicators everywhere, and I wouldn't even use them. I would just be like, "Oh, the price is down; it's got to go up," or it just has to go up, and I always think to myself like, you know, everything's gonna be fine because I deserve the successful trading experience. When really, um, it was the exact opposite. It was not very successful. I'm glad I never like blew up an account, but at the time, every time I would lose even a little bit, it would hit me so hard because during that time, I just didn't really have much capital, and I would be very frustrated with these delayed rewards when I never really deserved it in the first place. But I had that talk with myself. I'm like, okay, well, um, just basically, what are we doing? What's different? What am I doing that's not working compared to like successful traders? I read a ton of books. After reading a few books, I slightly started improving because they gave me a sense of patience. So I started being a little bit more patient with my trades and looking at the bigger pictures of charts a little bit more. And just, it still wasn't good enough. Uh, there was a lot of things I was missing. But over time, if you are serious about a skill, you're gonna learn the more like technical aspects of them. So over time, just eventually things improved when I started, learning more about candles, like how to actually read candles. It's not like, here's the candle, the top part, is where it opens. Here's the bot, or if it's green, the bottom is where it opens, and here's like the body of the candle, the top, and it's like no, no, no. It's like reading candles. It's like how do they represent volume? After, which is stuff I should have learned in the earlier, much earlier stages. Because like I said in the last video, I still believe I'm a beginner. There's so much to learn. Just because I have just over 8 years of experience trading, I'm very much still a beginner, and I'm a delayed beginner. Um, just due to the knowledge gap that I kept just procrastinating to fill over those first few years. But yeah, understanding like the chart. What is a chart really? It's not just support, resistance. It's not trend lines. It's none of that. It's not moving averages. It's not. It's like the actual candles within these charts. Like, what are they telling you besides the amount of volume that's trading? Or and then over time you start learning that. Well, for example, like if you guys like to trade with imbalances like that, that's a really great thing to look for. They tend to act as magnets sometimes, and then it's like a few other things were like, okay, well, how does the actual volume of these candles represent the RSI when you're looking at it side by side? And then it's like, how does the current value of whatever asset you're looking at represent what's going on in the broader economy? And if there's any kind of like weakness building up, can you identify that? And then you start to understand the candles a lot more, and that's stuff I really should have gotten down in the beginning. And it's just like stuff like that. And then after understanding the basic part of candles and really how they work, then you start understanding indicators a little bit more, and how, if depending on the market you're trading on, how does one market compare to the other. For example, like the DXY for the US dollar, like in the forex market, like that influences growth assets a lot. That influences, for example, Bitcoin. It influences the way that it's another indicator that tells you, hey, how much fear there is in the market, because usually m- cash will flow into the DXY, for example, and just interest rate environments, understanding jobless claims, inflation reports, and just piecing all that together, and then really looking at whatever you're trading in the bigger picture and how that all influences that. It's just There's a lot more to it, of course. I'm not going to try to get into it all in this video. I want to make more detailed videos in each topic in the future. But it's just having that conversation about yourself. Like, if you keep making the same mistakes, what can you do differently? Is there something different you should try, or is it just the wrong market? Should you be in a different kind of publicly traded market? And like, am I being too aggressive with my position sizing? If my emotions are controlling my trades more than the actual um like technical analysis that you're doing when you're analyzing a chart, like, are you putting emotion in there? And at the time I was emotion was a very unbiasedness towards a certain market. It was very much um a big influence every time I would try to analyze whatever I'm trading. And then the other part too was like, okay, like feeling like I need to place a trade every single day. Like, even though it's absolutely right and you're good not to trade every single day if it doesn't fit your criteria of reasons why you want to take a trade. Uh, at the time, I would always force myself to take a trade, and then when I would lose, like, I would revenge trade, and I would want to keep pushing it, and I would always try to place a trade every single day, even when it's not a good time to do so. But my emotions always kept pushing me to do that. So it's like being able to control emotions and won't just make you a better trader because you're not going to be placing any trades based on ego or, you know, uh, hope and so on. It removes all the emotion, and you straight up won't just start looking at the charts in ways that you notice exactly what you're supposed to notice, looking at the right things on the chart, looking at every possible detail within the time frame you're looking at, and not letting emotions control the way you're looking at it and the decisions you make. But it also makes you grow as a person, I think. And and really, after you start kind of controlling your mind a bit more and removing those emotions, you start learning a lot about yourself as well. You start learning more about who you truly are, not just as a trader, but like a person. It makes you see things in life, in my opinion, a lot differently. The moment you start to control your mind more, um, everything just looks differently. Everything just makes sense in a whole lot of a different way, and and you learn about a lot about yourself. You start looking at yourself, and then you start noticing like bad habits, or you start learning about things about yourself that you just really don't like, and you start to plan like, oh, what can I change? Because there's actually a video, um, what's it called? The channel, I think it's called like Institute of Trading, and I like to sometimes listen to some of their videos because they say things uh that they keep things realistic sometimes. It's always good to hear what they have to say because it's all very motivational as well, and eye opening, a lot of the things they said. But in one video specifically, this guy says, I forgot his name, but he says, a simple life is required because, if you have a hectic, he this is what he said, if you have a hectic lifestyle, you're gonna have a hectic trading life, and vice versa. If your trading life is hectic, like all over the place, and then your personal life will be all over the place, and both your trading professional life and your personal life have to mirror each other because they're always going to work simultaneously the same. So if you can keep your life simple, no idiotic drama. There's always drama everywhere, and sometimes it just takes a long time to change a mindset. But once you can kind of start building up that mindset and tearing apart your old mindset, if that's what you believe that you want to do to improve yourself, so then you can improve your trading, then that's the way to go. I personally think that, I agree on that. Where, if you can simplify your life, work on yourself, and work on your mind, then you know naturally you'll start noticing those benefits in your trading life because I'm just repeating myself at this point, but crazy life, crazy trading life, crazy trading life, crazy life. It like he said in the video, it mirrors each other. I mean, if you guys are interested, if you guys text me on social media or whatever, I'll send you a link to that video. If you kind of want to hear all the stuff he has to say, but basically, um, in the earlier stages of me trading, I felt like I was doing a really, really great job before I even opened up a brokerage account, looking at charts, analyzing them a little bit, and taking trades on paper, and then seeing, if they work out, when I'm buying and how many shares, and then I'll write it down. And then eventually, when I opened up an actual brokerage account and funded it with a little bit, and just saw the numbers drop, basically because I would enter trades at bad time and I'll be very emotional and if it goes down I'm like, oh, it's got to come back up, it's got to come back up, and I'll add more to it because it has to come back up. Look, it went down, it's got to come back up. A little did I know, because I wasn't looking at the bigger picture, the day before on that chart there was just really strong support that was established, and next thing you know, the stock would drop down to that support, and I'm there sitting there like, I really want, this has to go up, and then I'll either close at a big sell or I'll hold on to it because I didn't want to end the day at a loss, and I'll hold on to it hoping it will go up the next day, which doesn't always happen. But and then I was terrible at looking at I didn't understand how to read candles properly, and I would not understand that, like, hey, pre-market hours, the structures within pre-market, it's very important to look at, and I wouldn't look at it, or I'll be sitting there and I'll force myself to just enter a trade because I'm like, I've been sitting here for like 2 minutes and I haven't entered a trade. Like, it's got to happen, and then I buy in, and then right away I'm nervous. It's just terrible, 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 and it took me a long time to get out of that really bad and I position, and I feel like I felt like quitting a lot, and there was a lot of times where I would just struggle to have a good day because I'm like, I'm thinking of quitting, but then I can't quit because, like, I really actually enjoy this, and I enjoy looking at the charts even if I don't trade. And there's a lot of times I'll live stream on here, and you'll just see me watching the charts and not place a trade because I just enjoy it. Yeah, I feel very, very good, very calm, just enjoying the charts, enjoying the technology behind it and how it all works, and and just being a little bit more a spectator at times than a trader. And basically, um, there, it's just it all comes down to emotion. Really, it's just emotion and feeling like you always have to do something, even though you have no idea what you're doing, and it just takes time to learn. And at the time too, I knew there was a lot I had to learn, but there was a lot of like emotion backing up, like, oh, I got this, like, this is it, like, I'm meant to do this, I'm meant to trade, so I'm going to trade because I know what I'm doing. And definitely not, definitely not. I guess just to like end this video, uh if I had to say one more thing, it's, if you're a beginner trader or you've been trading for a while but you're in the same issue where you're struggling with repeating the same mistakes over and over again, like go for a walk, like sit back, look at the charts, maybe zoom out, and try looking at the charts without any biasness towards one direction, uh, for price flow. So it's like, sit back, look at the chart, and be like, okay, um, is there any economic data coming up soon? Look, looks like there's previous support here, there's resistance there. The price looks like it's creating a little bit of a trend in whatever direction. Like, you just step back and it's like, really analyze the chart and just look at it like if it's telling you something, and don't just look at it like if you're trying to tell it what to do. Just see what you see. Zoom out, see what you see. Maybe change up the time frame candles. Um, change up the time frame of the candles a little bit. Like take time to just breathe and and maybe think about a lot of the bad stuff. Maybe write down on a piece of paper all the stuff that mistakes you make, or like every time you enter a trade, like why are you entering. And if one of the reasons is, oh, I think it's gonna do this, or I hope it does this because whatever, like no, like are you entering because a support line? Are you entering because of an imbalance gap that makes you want to buy for a certain direction? Um, are you buying because specific indicators? Are you seeing like crazy fluctuations and now the RSI is being oversold, and every time it creates a structure and the RSI is oversold, like like are you buying purely based on hope or emotion? Or are you buying because the chart is saying that hey, it might be a good time to buy? And just sit back, and there's nothing wrong with even taking a break. It's not like you have to be on the charts every single day, but like if you have to, take a weekend or take a whole week and not look at the charts. Just chill, not look at the charts. Focus on meditating or focus on something, and then come back like in a week with like a fresh head, a fresh mindset. Look at the charts and be like, hey, we're gonna do things differently this time. I'm gonna be more patient, or I'm not gonna buy just because it's red, or I'm not gonna sell just because it's green. If you keep selling a lot sooner than you really want to, or like just sit back, look at it, zoom out and look at the bigger picture, and then just and then take as many breaks as you have to. I feel like taking breaks as a beginner trader is very, very important, because it can be very, very overwhelming for sure. I think so. But yeah, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. It's been a crazy journey the last 8 years, and I feel like I'm definitely improving. Although there's a lot of more improvement I need to do. I feel like I am understanding myself as a person a lot more. Not just understanding myself as a person a lot more, but like I'm slowly changing things in my own mind that that I feel like it's really helping. It's really helping, and it is a process. None of this learning to trade, learning to change your mind, having different, being able to remove biasness and ego, and like a lot of things just take time. It takes months, even over a year. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Hopefully, maybe some of you, if you're looking to quit, maybe just don't quit, but just maybe take a break, or just see if you can spend a whole week just watching the charts instead of taking a trade. But yeah, guys, no, yeah. Hope you enjoyed the video. I'll catch you guys soon, and take care.